Is it legal to sell food on Facebook? Well, a California woman actually faces legal challenges over her homemade meals that she shared on a Facebook group. Believe it or not, this story will actually get you going and probably make you a little bit mad. It was a typical day in Stockton, California, until a single mother, Marissa Rulis, actually fell into a legal quagmire over her passion for food. Not just any food, though. It was actually homemade meals. She actually proudly shared them within her Facebook group community, creating a warm and connected community of food lovers just like herself. But it's this passion that actually has now drawn an unexpected attention of the San Joaquin County officials and left Rulas in a legal tangle. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this story, and I'm going to give you a little bit of commentary on what I think should happen with stories like this. Rulis, it was a part of an online food sharing group in Facebook named the 209 Food Spot. Here, members actually frequently exchange recipes, they discuss nuances of various cuisines, and occasionally sold and even swapped out homemade meals with each other. Now, in a surprise twist, Rulis now stands accused of running a food business without the requisite permit or even license. Now, from my take on it so far, I'm going to tell you the rest of the story in just a moment. I actually think that many states and counties and cities without have the opportunity to really capitalize on the idea of having home-based food businesses, not just cottage food laws, businesses and cottage food businesses and such, but really truly offering opportunities for entrepreneurs to start selling foods. If they simply created a program that you had to take a course, if you will, a permit, if you will, to understand what would be expected, and you simply could inspect those homes and then validate them by giving them a permit and license, and then letting them capitalize on their passion for food, not just baked goods, not just the allowed foods that are now under cottage food laws, but something a little broader, a little wider. It would be a huge opportunity for small businesses to flourish and even possibly go from a home-based food business into a restaurant or cafe or even something more commercial, which would generate even more jobs, more tax revenue, etc. So this idea is not something obviously new. It's been around for a while and people have questioned it for a long time, but the legalities of it become very tricky if you don't have a city or county behind the philosophy that you should allow people to start home-based food businesses from home. So the saga began when she shared her homemade ceviche. Now, this is, of course, you may or may not know, it's a popular seafood dish with members in her group, and she would share it randomly. Now, it caught the eye of a person who later actually turned out to be an undercover investigator from the San Joaquin County. This is actually really pretty extreme, but what seemed like an innocent food exchange led to the inspection of Rulis' home, an arrest, and charges under California's Retail Food Code. Now, of course, I totally and utterly believe in the food code of every single state. And every state, of course, has the ability to write rules and regulations. And of course, it's there meant to keep people safe when you're preparing food, which potentially could get people sick if you're not understanding how to properly cook it, or ceviche, for instance, which is really a raw seafood dish that's cooked with the acids of lemons and citrus fruits. Now, that is something that is, of course, not a typical food item like a hamburger or a taco, but the idea is this, is that the cities and counties could simply allow people to do this if they would just regulate it, not to an extreme, but allow them the opportunity to understand what would be necessary for them to run a restaurant-style business from home, and then simply give them the guidance and then let them do their thing. The county's laws maintain a strict regulation, of course, of food businesses, which require a permit to operate. That's obviously a no-brainer. So the objective is to ensure public safety and to prevent foodborne illnesses, and that totally makes sense. Now, these laws, however, did not anticipate social media's role in connecting food lovers and home cooks. Now, thereby kind of muddying the line between what's known as commercial business and what would be a hobby or a side hustle. So Rulis has now found herself at the heart of this debate, and she was offered a deal to plead guilty and perform 80 hours of community service. Yet, standing up for the principle of her case, she refused the offer, potentially facing up to a year. Yes, believe it or not, you can get up to a year, at least in California, in jail for her decision for not taking that specific agreement. Now, this incident is not isolated. These types of things happen quite often, but it does eliminate a growing concern as technology and community networking evolve faster than the laws that actually regulate them. Now, it calls for a broader discussion around the regulation of food commerce on social media platforms such as Facebook. Now, including the need to balance public health concerns with the freedom to share and enjoy food in a communal setting, which is now mainly online. And of course, that's what Facebook is. Now, in a world, of course, increasingly driven by social media interactions, it's important that the rules of the game evolve to keep up with these changes. Until that happens, though, passionate cooks like Rules need to tread with caution while sharing their culinary expertise online with their friends within these closed groups. Now, the case of Marissa Rulis serves as a potent reminder of the ever-changing dynamics of our digital connected world. And you got to also keep in mind that it also is a call to action for us all to think about how we navigate in sometimes muddy waters of the online sharing commerce, ensuring that we kind of balance what we actually love or a hobby that we love to do for connection and sharing with the need for the safety and regulations of food businesses. So with that being said, what is your opinion about this? What do you think about this particular case? Do you think that it has actually gone a little bit too far with the idea of being arrested? Or should they have at least warned her and said, look, cease and desist or stop what you're doing? It would be better if you actually got some permits or maybe into a ghost kitchen or some type of commercial kitchen setting. Do you think that that specific county went a little too far with an undercover agent? Or do you think that that's actually a good call to keep people safe when it comes to food preparation? And of course, keeping in mind that the food safety of the public is something that's a concern for governmental agencies such as cities and counties and what they try to do with these rules and regulations. So with that being said, I will see you guys on our next video.